Good morning, sons. Shalom. I'm going to be reading Genesis chapter 4. The man had relations with Hava, his wife, and she conceived, gave birth to Cain, which means acquisition, because she acquired it from God, and said, I have acquired a man from Adonai. In addition, she gave birth to his brother Hevel. Hevel kept sheep while Cain worked the soil. So one kept sheep, a sheep herder, and one was a farmer. In the course of the time, Cain brought an offering to Adonai from the produce of the soil, and Hevel too brought the firstborn of his sheep, including their fat. So they both brought offerings to God, one of produce and one was a firstborn sheep. Adonai accepted Hevel and his offering, but did not accept Cain and his offering. Cain was very angry, and his face fell. Adonai said to Cain, Why are you angry? Why so downcast? If you are doing what is good, shouldn't you hold your head high? And if you don't do what is good, sin is crouching at the door. It wants you, but you can rule over it. So when we sin against God, we become unhappy and sad. But when we do what God wants us to do, we're happy and we're glad. Okay? So Cain was very sad because he sinned against God. And God tells us that we can rule over sin, that sin does not have to overcome us. Cain had words with Hevel, his brother. Then one time they were in the field. Cain turned on Hevel, his brother, and killed him. Adonai said to Cain, Where is Hevel, your brother? And he replied, I don't know. Am I my brother's guardian? He said, What have you done? The voice of your brother's blood is crying out to me from the ground. Now you are cursed from the ground, which has opened its mouth to receive your brother's blood at your hands. When you farm the ground, it will no longer yield its strength to you. You will be a fugitive wandering the earth. Cain said to Adonai, My punishment is greater than I can bear. You are banning me today from the land and from your presence. I will be a fugitive wandering the earth, and whoever finds me will kill me. Adonai answered him and said, Therefore whoever kills Cain will receive vengeance sevenfold. And Adonai put a sign on Cain, so that no one who found him would kill him. So Cain left the presence of Adonai and lived in the land of Nod, wandering east of Eden. Cain had relations with his wife. She conceived and gave birth to Hanoch. Cain built a city and named the city after his son Hanoch. To Hanoch was born Irad. Irad fathered Mechshuel. Mechshuel fathered Metushuel, and Metushuel fathered Lamech. Lamech took himself 2 wives. The name of the one was Ada, while the name of the other was Tizillah. Ada gave birth to Yaval. He was the ancestor of those who live in the tents and have cattle. His brother's name was Yuval, and he was the ancestor of all who play lyre and flute. Tizal gave birth to Tuval-Cain, who forged all kinds of tools. Lamech said to his wives, Now I want to real quick, Tuval-Cain, back during this time, 6,000 years ago, this is when they recently, how long ago was they? About a few years ago, they found an Iceman who had tools, and they didn't know that they had made tools 6,000 years ago. Right here in the Bible, it says they did. So this proves history. History proves the Bible. Ada and Tizal, listen to me. Wives of Lamech, hear what I say. I killed a man for wounding me, a young man who injured me. If Cain will be avenged sevenfold, then Lamech 70-fold. Adam again had relations with his wife, and she gave birth to a son, whom she named Sheet, which means granted. For God has granted me another seed place of Hevel, since Cain killed him. To Sheet was born a son whom he called Enosh. That is when the people began to call on the name of Adonai. That's when people began to call on God. Yes. Okay, boys, I love you. Daddy loves you. And hopefully I get to see you soon. Be good.